everyone. In this video, I'm going to share my entire experience in terms of why I was not able to get shortlisted by HUL, why I was rejected by Deutsche Bank, why I was rejected by BCG, and what were some of the questions asked to me which I was not able to answer. And the main point of recording this video at this point of time is very simple. A lot of my friends, including those friends who cleared their CA final attempt much before me, and even those friends who just cleared their CA final attempt or any other examinations, are sitting for campus placements, and a lot of companies are, let's say, not shortlisting them, or they are saying that you can come in the next round, but they aren't getting any sort of response, and then they are just getting dismantled at that point of time because of the fact that they are not selected by some companies. So this is just a form of video where I'm going to share my experience that I was rejected by various companies, but still you have to keep moving on in your life to apply in other companies so that you can do well in your life. Well, I'm not saying that you're going to do well in your life by only getting a high paying job. Ultimately, you need to be satisfied and happy with what you're doing, and ultimately your goal should be to add value in people's lives. Then and only then I can say that you're doing something good, you're doing well in your life. So firstly, let me tell you that I was rejected by Deutsche Bank in the final rounds of interview, where I was asked a lot of questions on current affairs. I was asked questions like, what is the current account deficit of India as a percentage of GDP? What is the difference between wholesale price index and consumer price index? Then I was asked a question based on mental mathematics, and I was also asked a question of the recent cooperative bank crisis which was happened of Punjab and Maharashtra Cooperative Bank. And I was not aware about what were the details and why did that financial crisis happen, what was the fraud, who were the defaulters, etc. The point and the message here is that you need to stay updated with the industry where you're going to interview for. For example, it was a case of interview with Deutsche Bank. So you need to prepare that all the banking industry frauds, scams, cases, etc. You need to have them in your mind so that you can answer those questions if they come, and you need to tackle them accordingly. Now in case of BCG, again, I was rejected in the final rounds of interview where I was asked questions of case studies. So let me tell you the entire process of how the interview at BCG happens. Firstly, you are given a lot of case studies. So you're given questions like the profitability of this company is going down. You have to advise or you have to recommend why is it going down and what can be done. Or you have to estimate the number of Uber rides in Mumbai in one day. Or you have to estimate the number of golf balls which can fit in one aeroplane of Boeing 737. These are some of the questions which were asked during my BCG case interview. Now the point here is that your answer need not be accurate. Your answer cannot be accurate at this point of time because everyone has different thought process. What these interviewers are seeking is that whether you are able to articulate your thoughts, whether you are able to structure the entire case study, and they want to understand what is the thought process you are having step by step. You shouldn't rush down. You need to understand that you structure down the problem. For example, if the profitability of an airline company or if the profitability of any other manufacturing company is going down, then you need to understand that either it will be because revenue is falling or costs are increasing. If revenue is falling, you need to understand either price is going down or the demand is going down. And if the demand is going down, you need to understand that the consumer is not buying, and you need to analyze the root cause, why is the consumer not buying. So you need to structure down your thoughts, and then only you will be able to crack these kind of case interviews. The feedback which I had got after my BCG interview was that I was able to structure my thoughts, I was able to articulate them, but they were not comfortable to put me in front of a client on day one itself. What these companies want is that they want to be comfortable to put you in front of a client from day one itself, and I got a feedback that I need to work upon my communication skills, I need to speak more fluently, and I think I've evolved that or maybe developed that over a period of time, and I can say that I'm not a perfect or I'm not a master of communication skills because no one is perfect in anything, but at the same time I'm trying to keep improving and keep learning of whatever mistakes I make over the last few weeks, last few months or last few years as well. So the best part about this interview process was that I got a call of rejection that you aren't selected, and I also got a feedback that what you need to work upon, and I completely respect, I have a huge amount of respect for these organizations which call the candidate after their interview and then they state that you aren't selected. I think it requires a lot of courage for these interviews also to do this process, because the candidate then knows that okay, he is not selected, and therefore he does not have any false hopes of, let's say, getting calls from the HR. So this is one of the best practices and one of the best things which I look for in any employer before joining any organization. And taking an example of other companies like HUL, I was not even shortlisted by HUL or Bain because of the fact that maybe I would have done my articleship from a mid-sized firm, or maybe I would have done my BCom from a correspondence college. I did not do it from a regular college, and I only had 69% in my BCom as well. So I don't know the exact reason as such why I was not shortlisted, but I did not even get a chance to appear for the interview. So to be honest with you, everything was very tough. Like when I was rejected by these companies, when I was not even shortlisted by the dream companies I wanted to get in, this was one of the toughest phases of my life. And trust me, I was talking to my dad and I was telling, is there something which is lacking in me, or is there anything which I need to do better? Because I've got ranks in all my examinations. Is it that I just have theoretical knowledge and I don't have the practical side of the thing? That's why these companies aren't shortlisting me. But after a point of time, I got to know that every company has different criteria basis which they select candidates, and there's a certain, if not certain, I think there's a good amount of luck element which is involved in any interview. Be it the mood of the interviewer, whether the mood of the interviewer is good or bad, be it the question which you are thrown upon, what kind of interviewer is going to interview you, luck factor also plays an important role which is out of our control, and we cannot do anything in that sort. So my dad explained me very well that even if you aren't selected, it means that you have something better to do in your life, and trust me that you're going to get a very good job in a very good company. And I always kept that motivating words and motivating thoughts in my mind, which pushed me every day in order to become better at interviews and in order to stay updated with what's happening in the economy. So I realized after a point of time that every company has different criteria for selecting candidates. In fact, one of my friends who got selected in BCG was not even shortlisted by Bain, and one of my friends who was selected by Bain was not even shortlisted by BCG. And you don't even know what criteria these companies are looking for. So every company has different set of criteria, and don't get dismantled, don't get heartbroken even if you are rejected by any company, by anyone in your life. You have to face all the forms of rejections in your life, be it a rejection in the form of not getting in an interview, be it a rejection in the form of not getting some co-founder for your startup, or be it a rejection by a girl or a boy where you wanted to date someone, or any other sort. You have to move on in your life, and you have to remember this quote that the past is gone, you just have to move on. And therefore, if you keep this quote in your mind, I think it'll be very easier for you to keep moving on in your life. And trust me, what I've realized after a point of time is that the organization where you're working in, or maybe the work profile of yours, is not going to matter at all after a point of time. What is going to matter is the sheer impact which you bring in any organization, be it a startup or be it a multinational conglomerate. That's ultimately going to define how well you're going to do in your life. A position of chief of staff in a unicorn startup, which is $1 billion startup, would also be a very good role if you're able to add value and if you're able to bring that impact in the revenue or in the business model of the startup. Whereas a role in a multinational conglomerate might not look that lucrative if you're not able to add value in that organization. So ultimately, it boils down to the same thing of adding value and contributing in any organization, be it a very new startup which has just started its operations in the last year, or be it a multinational conglomerate which is being run over decades and centuries as well. So keep this in mind, that even if you're rejected by any company, anyone, you have to ensure that there are better things which are lying ahead of you in your life, and with these better things in mind, you're going to do very well in your life. Well, today, I don't know if I would have gone in any other company, and if my work profile would have been super hectic. I don't even know if I would have had 80,000 subscribers on YouTube, 53,000 followers on LinkedIn, and 38,000 followers on Instagram. I think it just all started because all of you just wanted some strategies and guidance from my end, and now today I am just creating videos on generic topics so that I can help all of you to avoid the mistakes which I had done in my life. During my time, there was no mentor who was going to guide me that what should I do after rejection, or maybe what should I do as a part of my next step in order to become better in my next interviews. But since all of you are just going to appear for interviews, or you're just young enough to understand that you're going to face rejection at this point of time, the entire message of this video is that you have to ensure that you are not dismantled, you are not disheartened, you are not heartbroken, you are just moving ahead in your life, and you have to take this in an optimistic manner and say to yourself that there are better things which are coming in my life ahead, and I'm very sure that you're going to land up in a very good place ultimately in your life. Today, while I'm working in Aditya Birla Ventures, which is a newly set up venture capital fund of Aditya Birla Group, and my work profile, I'm completely in love with the work profile which I have, evaluating startups and talking to a lot of startup founders, preparing the financial model, and then ultimately deciding whether we want to invest in the startup or not. So ensure that whatever you want to do in your life, you have that clarity right now, and don't get disheartened even if you're rejected by any company. It means you are going to do very well in your life ahead. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope this video was useful for all of you. If you do have any other questions in terms of campus placements, etc., please feel free to comment below, and as and when I get time, I'll be more than happy to reply to all your comments here. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope this video was useful for all of you. If you do like this video, share it with all your friends and subscribe to my channel so that I can create more videos for all of you. Thank you so much for watching this video. See you in the next video.